Welcome to 5 Minutes with Vivun, or V5. I'm your host, Jarod Greene, CMO of Vivun, and I got the distinct pleasure of being joined by a very special guest today, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Brett Crane, VP of Solutions at Vivun. How you feeling today, Brett?
Very good. Thanks, Strad. Didn't know I had a legend, but I appreciate it.
Absolutely, of course. And Brett, where are you calling in from today?
I'm from Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts. All right. Well, here's how we play the game. We're going to get through as many questions as we can in 5 minutes. Timer goes up, and we'll play the game. You ready to rock, Brett?
Sounds good. Let's
All
go.
right, let's do it. So let's get to know you a little bit. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Neither, but I've seen the movies and I think they're entertaining. I just don't know the history of all of them.
All right. Coffee or tea?
Coffee, but I did not have my first coffee until my senior year of college, and then again maybe like until I was 27. But I think it coincided with becoming an SE, so I think that's the thread.
Glad you found it. Pineapple on pizza?
Definitely pineapple. Love Hawaiian pizza for sure.
Come around. And then cryptocurrency or cash money?
Cash. I was burned on crypto a little bit, so I'll stick with cash.
Noted. All right. Well, let's get into the meat of it. Brett, from your point of view, what is one thing that is changing in pre-sales in 2024?
Yeah, I'd say this might be a cop-out because I don't think it's unique to pre-sales, but I think I know that AI will change a lot for a lot of groups and certainly for pre-sales as well too. It's obviously close to home for me as well, working at Vivun where we sell a platform that leverages, AI and the latest and greatest to improve, technical selling across the board and in general. And I think a big part of, my day is talking to our product team about how AI will change our platform and the workflows of our users and that sort of thing. But yeah, I would say that's got to be something that's top of mind for me. I know it's top of mind for a lot of my peers that whether you're an individual SE, an SE leader, or a CRO thinking about your broader go-to-market team, they're thinking about how technology can power the workflows of their teams, and AI is the center point for that.
Absolutely. What won't change?
I am not worried about SEs being super strong and necessary for B2B selling. That will not change. We're still very central to how deals get done. I'd say we're here to stay, and the folks at Gartner have validated that through the stats of saying that buyers want to talk to us more than read any resource or talk to any other person they interface with at the vendor. And so I think that's going to stay the same, is that we're going to be critical for how the solution fits for our prospects and customers to really adopt our product.
Bro, what's something you had to learn the hard way as a sales engineer?
Yeah, there's this topic about do you need to be technical or do you need to be salesy in the SE side? I think I found early on in my career that being technical is something that gives you security in the solutions you're selling. And so I found it out the hard way because early in my career I was not technical and relied on, in some cases, on my small startup engineers to do some of the product-based selling work. When it got too technical, didn't always go well, didn't always land us a deal. And so I found out I wanted to own my own destiny, built up my technical skill set, and I think that helped round out my ability to really win deals as an SE. And so I would say I found that out the hard way because we lost a few deals because of it.
There you go. Thanks for sharing that. What are some things you're moving and shaking at Team Vivun this year?
Well, we're going through a bit of a different way that we message to the market at the moment. And so I would say one thing that's changing really significantly is our demo flows are all changing. So we're changing the way that we think about the way that we message, our product and the value it provides to our broader ecosystem. So that's one thing. Our products are rapidly evolving. And so that's not only changing our demo flows, but it's also changing what we use for demo automation, which is our own demo automation product. So all the guides that we send out to prospects and customers and things like that. And I'd say as well, my team is getting really, really close with product. We've always been really close to product, but especially in our analytics area, our expert analytics and our insights, but we're really doubling down on making sure that we can drive the roadmap because we're actually selling to our peers and my peers. So it's close to home, and working really closely with the product team to accelerate the pace and the value that we can provide to our customers is really important for me this year.
From your perspective, and you've worked with many, what's the difference between a good account executive and a great account executive?
Yeah, I think taking a step back as an AE and realizing it's a team sport. I mean, I think this happens throughout people's career, but early on, I think a lot of AEs start out with they can light up the world by themselves and sometimes go lone wolf or maybe use team members as a crutch. I think having sort of the respect of the skill set of the team members around you, collaborating with the ecosystem of resources you have to enable yourself to succeed. I think that's really what separates, good from great in my eyes. I'm obviously biased to which AEs can pair well with their SEs, right? And not treat them like, a demo donkey, for instance, and, work with them to strategize on deals. How can they pair off people, get technical champions, do all the good things you actually can do to win anything other than sort of the most transactional deals. I think goes a long way. So for me, it's how well do you use the resources around you to collaborate and, build up mutual respect within that.
Love it. Love it. All right, hot take time. Ready? Should we call this discipline, this function, pre-sales, sales engineer, solution something? What do you got? What say Brad?
I would say the general thing is like pick what's right for you. I'll give you my little journey, but we've actually gone from calling our team solution consultants to sales engineers. And part of the reason why we did that is just make sure your buyer understands who the heck you are when you're talking to them. I think that's the most important thing. Like in the end, we're all in sales. So if your buyer doesn't know who you are when you're doing your demonstrations or positioning the value of your solution or working through your technical follow-ups and those things, like you don't want to confuse them with who am I talking to. So we call ourselves SEs. A lot of that just has to do with tradition. It's very traditional. That's what our own buyers know that function pre-sales SE or SC from. So we just call ourselves sales engineers, and I think it reflects well with what we do as well too at the same time.
All right, last question. Best piece of tech you've ever used?
I'll go nerdy and say Home Assistant. It's what I use for home automation. It is not the most intuitive tech out there or the most user-friendly, but it's one that I've spent quite a bit of time on nights and weekends getting to be an expert in, and one that I consistently get impressed by the power of, what kind of the open source community can do and, bringing together a really cool product. Took a long time to get there, but I'd say I have a pretty cool setup at home that is powered by Home Assistant. So that's my pick.
That's very cool. All right, Brett, thanks for playing the game. Hey, I think I know the answer to this, but where can we find out more about you and all things at Vivun?
Yeah, so me personally, I'm just on LinkedIn. Vivun.com is the company, of course, us here. Also, shout out to Expert Community on Slack. So I'm a member there, participate in conversation around, leadership conversations, what people are doing, advice, tips and tricks, different things like that arise in that forum. And then really exciting is in April, we love you guys to join us at Vivun. We have the Unexpected Show April 25th. And so that's our virtual event where we invite, everyone here to come join us, hear from Team Vivun, hear from our customers, hear some really cool special surprise speakers and guests. Yeah, I think we'll drop a link here to make sure you find your way to the site and what that event's all about. But we'd love to see you all there too.